So, I've been looking forward to something to actually really get my teeth into video-wise. So, I've got a shitty old sock that's just come out of the wash. It doesn't smell or anything. Carl Pikachu. You need this because oils are the best thing to weather aeroplanes, I absolutely promise you. So yesterday, what I did is I took some burnt sienna and some black and a big pot of minky, horrible, washed down oil paint, and I gave it all this really filthy covering look. And all I'm going to do is get my cloth with a bit of stuff on it, probably a bit too much stuff on it there. So you put a bit on and then take it off, and then you put a bit on and then you take it off, and you just keep doing this. And what it's going to do is pull off all of the excess muck and just leave it in the corners and just give it this really beautiful, oiled, used, weathered, beaten up, horrible look to it. Like that. So I'm going to do this for 10 minutes and try and keep it on camera for you, and we shall see how it goes. You see how mucky that is on there, look, with all the grease streaks. So what you do is you take it down. And the reason I like doing this is because you can't emulate the randomness of the world. Do you remember when Dr. What's-His-Face talks about it in the helicopter in Jurassic Park? He talks about his chaos theory, about how no two things are going to be the same again twice. Does that make sense? Well, that's what I'm doing here. I need the naturalness of gravity and of liquid and of weight and of water. And I need it all to look as real as possible. So by streaking it down in the direction that you want the grime to go, gives it naturally a feel of how it would be if Megatron had been sat out in a desert for absolutely ages, rusting in his own filth and dirt. Yes? Can you see how that, now, you can see the streaks go up and down slightly. And then I'm going to really go to town on it afterwards. So let's do the back end here, look. And then you take all of that, and take the wet bit. Where's the wet bit? I think the wet bit's run out. So we'll do just a dab, and then I'll dab it down on my towel, and then take it off. So you do the wet bit over the top, and then choose a different bit, and then just, all you're doing is agitating it. You want to leave some on there, but not all on there, otherwise it looks a bit weird. Like that. That's all you do. So that's still slightly damp, and it only needs to be slightly damp. Now, I did this last night. I did this yesterday. And the beauty of using oil paints is that they don't dry for ages. Absolutely ages. Which gives you loads of time to get in and really take all of that excess off. And do the gas tank. Again, pull down on the gas tank. This way it doesn't matter quite so much. This way, just swirl it a little bit. But the muck's still on there underneath. It's just sitting in all the corners. It's just sitting in all the minky bits. And you know the best thing about doing this? It's massively good fun. I love doing it. It's brilliant. But the most important thing is it looks absolutely fantastic with very, 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 very little effort. You see how that's coming off there, look? All the streaks are disappearing. I've got too much light on there, can you see? So all of the really dirty muck is starting to fall off. But all of the stuff in the corners is staying. And it's all slightly shiny as well. It gives it this beautifully greasy, horrible, minky look. So some places I'm leaving loads on, some places I'm pulling it all off. There. And let's take the back here, for example. Can you see the back of the cab? So if I take the back of the cab, and it doesn't matter whether you go up or down, but if I go like that, it's starting to take away the flat panels, because the flat panels wouldn't be as bad or as dirty, and it just leaves behind this layer of horrible, minky, rusty, shitty, horrible crap. So let's do that side, look. If we go like that, there you go, you can see that fairly well. And I've just got, it's just damp. The sock's it's damp, it's not wet, because that would be too much. And then just drag it down, drag the sock down. And we're going to cause some streaks and some grime and some muck and some filth. Why isn't that fitting properly? The problem with dealing with a large KO like this is that they're not really kind of built that well. That's a particularly good section, look. Can you see how that looks? The stains on that hang down. So it looks like it's been sat in the right angle. So on the front mud guards here, look. See? If I go in a bit closer. Mud guards. Okay? So don't go side to side, because that's not how gravity would do. Take it off this way. And just go down. On the front bumpers here, which I've still got to fix later on. I've bought some epoxy to do it. Look, it leaves all your streaks in the right place. You see that side there is really hideous, and that side there, I've just taken enough off. There, look, see, it's fixed it. Focus, focus, hocus pocus. There. And look, all that streaky, grimy stuff is gone. It's just left enough behind to make it look, for want of a better word, real. So, side panels, look. Again, pull the streaks down. Get into the difficult to reach places, because you don't want it to pull too much. There we go. Streaky, grimy, rusty Megatron. And again, do all the little greebles there, look. So with the greebles you want to take the very top off and leave as much crap underneath as possible. Again, do that there. Do that. There on the gas tank. There. So let me zoom right out. Wrong way. So now Megatron looks really, really in the walls. But it's so easy and simple to do. And all you need is the world's cheapest. I'll show you. Look here. Whole pack was like 10 quid. I think it was 7 or 8 quid for a bottle of GAC. And everyone's got old socks somewhere. It does make a mess of your hands. You'll have to just live with it. And just rub it. like a single man on a Sunday morning, just rub it. And just keep going and getting all of the... You'll keep coming back to it, you'll keep seeing bits and you'll think, oh, it's too much, it's too much. And take it off and take it off and take it off, because the joy of oils is because they don't dry. Once you've left it for a bit, if you've taken too much off, you can go back and do it again. If you've not done enough, you can go back, do more. You can always go back and revisit it. And that's why I like doing this, because acrylics, you can't. Acrylics just don't work as well for this process, but this only works for stuff that's really, really old. However, if you mix up a bit of burnt sienna, hang on, I'll show you. If you mix up some burnt sienna and some black, remember, never ever ever use black on its own. It's not natural. You don't ever find it in reality, so you don't find it on models. But just mix some of that up, make it really, really wet, and then take a small brush and just apply it to the edge of all of these lines, which is what I'm going to do now, and panel line it like you would a Gundam or something like that. So I'm going to set that up and come back. So let's do this live, and I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm going to take some black, I'm going to squidge it on the plastic. I'm going to take some brown, I'm going to squidge it on the plastic. I'm going to take my big fat brush and I'm going to take some of the thinner that's still in the middle from last night, because it doesn't really evaporate very much, put it into a different pot. I'm going to take a tiny bit of the black and mix that up. I'm going to take a tiny bit of the brown and mix that up. I'm going to take some more of the thinner and mix that up. I'm probably going to need some more thinner. This thinner doesn't smell at all. It costs more money because it's odourless, but it really, really works. It's good stuff. I think we want a tiny bit more black in there. It's a very overpowering colour, black. It kills everything that you touch if you don't treat it properly. Now, all you do is take your brush. I've got a medium-sized brush because you need it to really hold some pigment. Move that out of the way a little bit. So let's do the sides. So you've got panel lines there, look. And all you're doing is filling up those panel lines, and if it gets a little bit messy, it doesn't matter, because you can always do exactly the same technique and come back and take it off again later. See? Can you see how your details are all coming out now? You're getting all those black little panel lines. Do that in there, and like that, and around here. I think that light's a bit bright, isn't it? You can see slightly better. I'm going to zoom in, I think. La, 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 la. Like that. Turn that a bit like that. There you go. So panel lines 101. So all you do is you just touch the brush. I need more muck. Touch the brush around and it will automatically, by using the capillary action of what you're doing, just fill up the space. Black lines. I want a bit more black. There we go. So all of those black circles there, all I'm doing is just dabbing the brush in. It's not delicate, it's not difficult. And it will naturally want to follow along the lines of everything that has a natural line to it. Like that. And in here, go around here and it will just pick out the edge of all the details that you've done. It takes forever in a day, and the problem with oils is if you're impatient, you do have to walk away from it for a little while, because otherwise you just get it all over your hands. You've got to let it dry for a day. And then when it is done, you do have to use an aerosol or something along those lines. I can blow gloss or satins through my airbrush if I buy the right stuff. And if we do the wheels, for example, there's the wheels with all the little nuts and bolts and stuff in there. And if you just touch black, it just picks out all of the wheel nuts and stuff. Need some more liquid. Look, see how it picks out the edge of the treads? See? Instantly. Now I've got to paint the treads, so this is a waste of time. But, there. And down the edge of the detail there, look. It's a bit soft, that edge. Need some more liquid. Let that just run down. You get a lovely panel line. Let's do the top here, see if we can see what we're doing. Where are we? There we go. Look. Lovely. So, along where this pipe ends, just dab it. It just gives you a beautiful, need some more black. Just in there, look. You see how it feels along the line? In there, do the inside of the knee piece, the inside of the thigh piece, and that's really starting to, if I turn that up like that, and I take some of that, you can see that in here it runs itself around the panel line edge, so you get this lovely nice black outline. Do it here. There, it's going to run just along the edges, just give you a nice dark line. And if it's not perfect, great, because the real world isn't perfect. Even when stuff like, when you're dealing with making rust and old stuff, nothing's perfect. It's all old and dead and minky and horrible. So what you need is a bit of reality, a bit of chaos, a little bit of the illusion of grime over time. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. I've gone too heavy with the black now. It doesn't matter because you can just take a little bit thinner and take it back. Put a bit more black on that line there. The other thing I'll say that I have done that is quite important is I've put a gloss coat over this, which helps the oil paint not stick to the model too much. And if any of you have Gundams, don't treat the Gundams first. Don't treat the Gundams first. Just have the faith to just get some really liquidy stuff and some cotton buds and some of that odourless thinner. And then when you've panel lined your Gundam, you can come back afterwards and just use a cotton bud with just a tiny little bit of thinner, and it will just leave the black in the recesses and it won't touch the top stuff at all. You see that happening in there? So then I'm going straight back into some neat thinner and just washing that around like that, and it's just sitting in all the dark recesses. Panel lining, Megatron, is looking quite nice. If I do a flat bit, I'll just show you a flat bit. So if I do that and I do that and I take a little bit more black and some more thinner, just spread that out. See that detail on the side where the door thing is? It runs itself along, look. It just makes the nice, oh, hit the camera, dark edges. The black box here, look, little box here, so you just touch that on the edges and it will just sit around the edges of the bits that you want. These little nubbins here will collect dirt, that nubbin there will collect dirt. Nubbin inside the footwell thing there. And there's this texture stuff. So you make it really wet and put the black in the texture stuff, and it will sit in the pits of the texture and leave, that's glossy. When that dries you'll see what I mean. But it just leaves darker areas where you need them. Now this is black because I'm looking for oil at the moment. When I take it off again later, there won't be anywhere near as much of the actual black left. But because I've used a lot of the burnt sienna first, it all tends to work. Yeah, filling up the lines, look. Because those lines would be darker than anything else. Fill it up, fill it up, fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. Put a bit over the top because there are latches on there. There's a latch on there, look. You don't have to worry about going over the edges. You just need those black lines left, and just leave it to dry for an hour or 3. Because oils take a little while longer to dry. Plus they get in the places that you just can't reach normally. Put a bit of brown in. We've gone a bit too black. That's quite a good consistency. You take that. So you've got all of these recesses on the smokestacks. So just go like that. And you're filling up all the recesses on the smokestacks, and then when you come back, shit, I've done it again, fucking peak on my hat's gonna do me crazy. Do that. So now you've got all of the paint, let's turn that off a little bit. All of the paint is in the recesses, but the tops, it's not working because it's shiny. You get what I mean? This has been my lesson for the day. This is what I'm going to do. I'm doing me some Megatron. Peace out. Slater.